Welcome back for more physiology. Today I want to tell you about where the brain comes, or how we make the brain. So when we look at how development occurs, so obviously fertilization happens, so sperm runs into egg, we end up making a whole bunch of cell divisions, and the result of that ultimately is going to be this thing that we call a bilaminar germ disk. That germ disk actually is going to split apart into 3 different layers. The result of those 3 different layers is we're going to get 3 different parts of your body. So all the other stuff that was forming isn't what ultimately becomes you. This disc becomes you. So this ectoderm becomes anything on the outside of your body, so skin, brain, stuff like that. Endoderm becomes the tube that runs through the middle of your body, and the mesoderm is everything in between. So that would be your bones, your muscles, circulation, so forth. So if I look at your or the formation of your brain, what it turns out to do is you get a sheet of paper, so this will be your ectoderm. What it's going to do is fold up on itself and eventually pinch off to form a tube. If you look at your spinal cord, it's a tube. If you look at your brain, it's a tube. The process of forming that tube is called neurulation, and it starts around day 21 and is finished by day 28 or so after fertilization. It looks something kind of like this. So if you watch it again, what we get is we have the formation of that tube in the middle, which elongates, and the tube closes up on the 2 ends, the anterior and posterior end, or the cephalic and the caudal ends, and the result is you form a brain and you form a spinal cord. So when you end up doing that, like I said, you get this tube, and that tube is your brain and spinal cord. Your spinal cord turns out to have a really tiny hole running through the middle of it, and then your brain turns out to have a whole bunch of them that the folds don't look like it, but they turn out to be there. The result of that formation of that neural tube also gives you things that we call somites. Somites will differentiate into muscle, so muscle segments along your torso, and the formation of nerves. So that folding ends up causing formation of a whole bunch of parts. How do we know that that's what happens? Because there turn out to be a whole bunch of medical conditions where that doesn't fold up correctly. So if you don't end up having that full closure, we could either result in having no brain, or you could have your spinal cord leaking out of your body, or, in form of a bubble, or it fuses, or what have you. So there's all sorts of things that can go wrong from this act of folding up the back part of your body.